Hi, I'm Megan Jaworski and welcome to Every Woman Project, empowering lives through story. Today we have a very special guest. Her name is Tina Vercillo. She is a mother, she's a sister, she's a coach, and she's also the Vice President of Restoring Hope. Her story is incredibly inspiring, and I know that it is going to touch everybody out there because it is something that I'm sure we have all been impacted by at some point or another. So Tina, thank you so much for coming to the show. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Thanks, Megan.
Okay, so Tina, for those that are sitting at home that don't know you, can you please share with us a bit about your story, your story in general?
Sure. So my back history, medical history, with both my sisters, I had a sister pass away of breast cancer at the age of 32, 9 years ago now, and then another younger sister at the age of 30 was diagnosed. So being the older sister, I thought, I was doing something right, and so I just keep doing what I was doing.
Yeah.
Being healthy, fit, mindset was all, the positive person that everyone comes to. So when I was diagnosed with breast cancer myself in 2016, it was quite a shock because I'm a single parent, and so of course, all of these crazy thoughts go through your mind, and
what emotions were you feeling at the time so you get diagnosed? What was going through your head knowing this is serious, and you had your daughter? So how are you feeling mentally and emotionally?
Yeah, to begin with, it's very daunting, very draining. All of these, ideas of death pop into your mind.
Yeah.
And,
so those ideas did actually come into your mind?
Well, because I'd already lost a sister to, metastases of the breast cancer.
So what's going to happen to my daughter if I do die?
Absolutely. What's going to happen to my family and friends who, look at me as their rock?
Because you're the eldest sister as well, and you're the rock in the family.
Exactly right. So, lots of all of those fears pop into your mind, or popped into my mind anyway. So I really wanted to make sure that I was congruent with what decisions I was making going forward, what treatment plan. I didn't want to be rushed into anything because I know that people do feel a sense of urgency to do something. Because
what stage were you with breast cancer?
I was at stage, so it was a grade 1, stage 3.
Okay. So it's quite far down the track being stage 3.
They're aggressive. So because I had the triple negative, it's quite an aggressive cancer.
So you chose to do chemo, you ate healthy, exercised, strong mentally,
meditation,
community. I
had a brilliant support network. That's
great.
Definitely something that I strongly recommend, that if you have people around you that are sort of sad and almost mourning you before you're even gone.
Guys, I'm still here.
Exactly right. Get people around you that are championing you. Get people, even including your doctors and surgeons, that they need to believe that you are going to be well for you to actually be well. So I needed to make sure that physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally I was looking after myself. It wasn't just about my body. It was about reflexology. It was about demanking my energy. It was about doing positive affirmations. It was about eating well, taking the right vitamins. It was pretty much a complete process. So I needed to feel congruent with everything that I was doing going forward. And so I'd made that decision well and truly before I started anything.
That's fantastic. And then you ended up having a double mastectomy, is that correct?
Yeah, so I had my chemo, having the actual, I call it confused cells, because I don't like to refer it as cancer. So in my mind, it feels like...
Psychologically,
it's softer. So for me, it's my body creating these cells. So my body can also heal themselves.
Yes, the cells are just confused.
Exactly, they're just confused cells. So the confused cells did actually shrink within the first type of chemo that I was administered, but the second lot, it hadn't shrunk.
Okay.
So I actually stopped short of my chemo by 3 treatments. And then once I had chemo sort of out of my body and recovered properly, then I decided to have the bilateral mastectomy, which was going to be a lumpectomy anyway. So I thought it's all going to be done in the one process.
Was that how easy or difficult was that decision to make?
For me, I think I needed to put the positive spin on it. So I'm always looking for the silver lining in every experience. So I always had very small breasts. And so this was my opportunity to get the breasts I always wanted to have.
There's going to be a silver lining.
There has to be, right?
And you've had kids, so
and I had children, so
I have perky breasts.
It's for the rest of my life. So I was really happy with my surgeon, and I got to see some of her work. Because a lot of women who have reconstructive surgery look at the internet, and Google gives you horrendous images.
Never look at Google before surgery. Don't look at
Just don't do it. And and it leaves a really fearful impression in your mind of I'm going to be maimed for the rest of my life. This is how I'm going to look. And as a single mother, and wanting to have, I was single at the time. I thought, is someone else going to ever love me? Not looking normal and natural. And so for me, I needed to know that I was able to have that reconstructive surgery to look as normal as possible. And thankfully I have met someone since then and absolutely adores my body and the way it looks, and wouldn't change anything. So I'm really grateful for that. But for some women who haven't had that reconstructive surgery, just had the bilateral mastectomy, having considered seeing someone who is a professional in their field for constructive surgery, it makes such a difference, because it is part of your femininity. It is part of you just wearing a dress and putting on a top in the summer
and feeling confident.
Exactly right. And I feel that. I actually feel that more now than I did before. So
that's great.
It's been a really positive experience.
That's
for
good.
me.
I'm glad that you had that positive experience. Now, I believe most of us have had someone we love go through either a terminal illness or an illness in general. What advice would you give to family and friends who are supporting someone going through something such as what you went through?
I remember a lot of people would say to me, you'll fight this, you're a really positive person, if anyone's going to get through it, it'll be you. And I sort of stopped and thought about what those words actually meant. And I thought, well, if I'm fighting, then I'm fighting myself. And I can't, who's going to win in that case? So it's, myself or the cancer, which is in my body. So asking the patient or the person who's actually going through the traumatic experience, how do you want me to be around you?
That's a really great question. How do you want me to be around you? Because that gives that person the opportunity to say, well, I want you to be a listening ear, or I want you to be practical support.
Or just make me laugh. Or you know what, take me out. Or just sit beside me and watch, a movie, or read this book to me, or cry with me. But give them the opportunity to actually say, because a lot of the times when people don't know what to say or what to do, they do nothing. And then that's the time that the person who's experiencing this trauma needs someone to even just to be there. So it's a really powerful tool, even to send a text message to say, hey, I'm thinking about you. Can I do anything for you? Give them the opportunity to say, actually, I'm good, or I'm not really sure what I need, but just check in on them every now and then. Because going through the trauma, you have a lot of people checking in and making sure you're okay, but it's those months afterwards when everything sort of settles. The dust settles. And then you want someone to call. A friend of mine, Marcus, called up and he knew that I liked Elvis, and he just left a message on my phone singing one of the Elvis songs, and that just brought a smile to my face, and it was just a small thing, but it made a huge difference.
It's just something like that, just something to brighten somebody's day, because as you mentioned earlier, you're not dead yet.
No.
So the last thing that you probably want is someone treating you as if you're dead.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. One of the things very early in the piece about facing my mortality was that nobody's getting out of here alive.
Yeah, we're all dying.
We're all dying.
Yeah, and it's a conversation we need to have.
We do.
Yeah.
And it's okay to just absorb that of, okay, well, maybe my time's going to be sooner, but I don't know. That time isn't set. So I can live my life every single day to the capacity that I can probably squeeze into it.
Yeah.
So
did you find that being diagnosed with cancer did give you a new zest? I mean, you already were so passionate about life to begin with. But did you find that it tweaked or changed?
It did, yeah. I think the tweaking definitely happened because after my sister passed away, I thought I'm not going to stop myself from, living life to the full.
Yeah.
And I think I was selling myself short in a few things because of, the self-talk of, I'm not good enough, or I haven't done that before, or what are people going to say? So I was stopping myself from doing things, and then once that diagnosis hit, and I wish, you didn't have to wait, or I didn't have to wait for that diagnosis to come, but I made a decision of, I'm just going to do it anyway. So, what's the worst that could possibly happen?
I'm already dying. What's the worst?
Exactly.
Yeah, I love that mentality.
Yeah.
And for people who are at home who are going through a terminal illness or an illness in general, what advice would you give to somebody who is where you were?
Yeah. So my greatest advice is to just live every day to the absolute full. We only ever have now. Not worry about tomorrow or in 5 years' time or in 10 years' time, but enjoy today. Just get out into the sunshine, live experiences because they're the only things that you can ever take with you. Materialistic things are not very important when it comes down to it. So,
So what did that look like for you? What was one thing that you did to live every day?
I love traveling, so travel is a big thing on my cards. Taking my daughter to have experiences like shows and getting out into nature and just actually whatever I feel like doing. Sitting out in the sunshine just on a day off on a weekend.
I'm going to do it.
I'm just going to do it, and not worry about the housework. The housework's always going to be there. It's always going to be there.
Yeah.
So it's just living for the moment. Being with the people that you love as much as possible, leaving all of those,
because it's the relationships that matter in the end, isn't it?
It is, absolutely, and things that seemed like they were important years ago, just are not so important anymore, and building those relationships and spending time with your children and
puts
your family.
Things into perspective.
It very much so does.
So where to from here? How are you going right now as I'm speaking to you?
Good.
And where do you see things going?
Yeah, well, I have obviously a beautiful future ahead now with my new partner and his children and my daughter. So we're looking at traveling and having lots of experiences and just living in the now. And that's pretty much where I'm at the moment. Just enjoying
being
today.
really present.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, exactly.
And if there's one piece of advice based on your life experience, or one message that you would like to share with people, what would that message be?
Oh, wow. It's really difficult to narrow it down to one message. If you
can narrow it down to one paragraph,
okay.
What would be your key message that you want to leave with the world?
I think it's be true to yourself. Just live every single day being congruent with what makes you feel happy. And if it doesn't make you feel happy, then do something different. Because when it comes down to it, happiness is what we're all here to do and to be.
Yeah. So being congruent with whatever that is.
Whatever that is
that
to your
brings you
truth.
joy.
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
Your truth. I love that. Thank you so much, Tina, for coming and for being vulnerable and open and for sharing with us a bit about your story. Now, if you have any comments or questions that you would like to leave below, then please share them below this video clip, and I'm sure Tina or I would be more than happy to answer your questions. Or if you'd just like to show Tina some love, then please feel free to do so. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching Every Woman Project, because your story is worth loving. Have a great week, and I look forward to speaking to you again next week on the Every Woman Project. Bye for now.